guys, what's up? Today we're going to talk to you about the new 1/18 scale Capra. This thing is super fun. Honestly, it has been probably the most fun mini vehicle that I've played with in a while. As you can see, it's already a little dirty. I'm driving it around. So we're going to compare this thing to another 18 scale on the market, but not the one everybody else has been comparing it to. If you want to see a comparison between this and the other 18 scale that everybody's comparing it to, the TRX-M, go back to last week's video. Watch that video. We talk all about the TRX-M in super detail, all about the aftermarket stuff, but this video is going over this little guy. This little guy is super, super fun to drive. It is based on the 1/10 scale Capra. Unfortunately, it doesn't have dig or four-wheel steer, but it actually would be pretty simple to put four-wheel steer on this thing. It does run a standard size servo, and these axle housings are actually the same center section, front and rear, which is super handy if you ever wanted to switch over. There's plenty of lights. We'll actually pop the hood. We'll plug it in for you. I said we'll plug it in for you. Now, this hood actually latches with a little clip that literally just clips onto the front tube. Super easy to unlatch, super easy to latch. And the on and off switch is right behind the cab, right behind the driver. Turn that thing on. Look at how bright these lights are. Whoa, super bright. You can't even see anything.
It's over 9,000!
There's actually headlights. Check it out. You really can't see. But you got headlights, two headlights, and then you have two rock lights underneath the hood, as well as this light bar up top. Now, when I was running it, it did take a couple tumbles, and unfortunately this light bar kind of flickered on and off. I don't know if it was because of the tumbles it was taking, or if it was because the battery was going low. I'm really not too sure, but I'm sure it's no big deal. It didn't actually shut off. It didn't stop working. It just kind of flickered a couple times. And many people will say that this thing is toy grade or looks toy grade. I would maybe agree from the pictures, but once you hold on to this thing, as I'm sure you've seen in every other video, everybody says this. Once you hold it, it actually feels like a decent vehicle. The shocks, they've been holding oil, which is good, which is definitely helpful. Just plastic shock bodies. They are threaded, I do believe. Yeah, they are threaded. So super easy for adjustability. It does run a 2-in-1 ESC receiver, but can run a LiPo battery, or does run a LiPo battery. It actually runs the little 650 milliamp pack that you would get with like a Mini T or Mini B. So that size is perfect. You can actually run the 800 milliamp pack. Should drop right in there, give you a little bit more runtime. Or, maybe there's other battery packs. I haven't experimented with different battery packs yet, but these are 155 wheels and tires. They are glue-on, but they do run a 12 millimeter hex. So I actually found it's pretty easy. It'll accept any small 1.9 wheel or 155 wheel and tire. I actually mounted up some SSD wheels with the Pitbull Rock Beast XORs, and it looks pretty good. I haven't tried crawling with them yet. At least not on this. From video, you'll be able to tell that they're well used. But yeah, overall, honestly, this thing has been has surprised me in its capabilities just as a ready to run. I mean, it does have some typical ready to run features. I mean, could be it has potential, honestly. Um, the torque is there. It's got a 380 size motor, 37 turn motor, 37 turn 380 can motor. But there are other motors out there that you could drop into this. Maybe a little outrunner setup, something like that would fit good in here. Or if you wanted to go for some speed, I mean, you could even go with one of the 2-in-1 dynamite system for the Mini B. It's going to be brushless. That would make it super quick. You know, why not? Not sure how well the crawling capabilities would be. But there are aftermarket stuff out there. There are aftermarket parts that they've already come out with for this. And unfortunately, we didn't get our shipment in yet for that stuff. Otherwise, I'd have that here on display. But they got different links out for it already. They have brass portal covers for it already. They have overdrive gears for this thing already. They have link risers to go in the back to raise up the rear upper links to give you a little bit better crawling geometry. I mean, that with the overdrive gears, this thing's gonna be a little animal. Honestly, I couldn't stop grinning ear to ear driving this little thing just in my little garage course. Honestly, I can't wait to get it out on some real rocks. But for the time being, this was a ton of fun. And I highly recommend checking it out. But I'm sure you got one more question to ask, and that is it worth it? So let's get to this the comparing, and I'll tell you what I think. So we're going to actually compare this to another 1/18 scale crawler. This is the ECX Temper Gen 2. Now, this thing is four-wheel drive. It's a crawler. Runs 155s also. Retails for $160, where this guy retails for $249.99. And I'm sure you're looking and going, I just don't see it. And I don't know. I wish the price was a little bit closer to the 200, not 250. But honestly, this thing, once I kind of break it down for you, this thing I think is honestly worth it. I mean, I would say yes, the price point would be much more appealing at 200, but what's an extra $50? That's not really the right way to think about it. But in this hobby, it's all in fun. So the ECX Temper Gen 2 runs a 2-in-1 ESC, but this is not Spectrum. It will not run LiPo. It will only run nickel metal. So you're very limited on the battery that you can run. The quality of radio and receiver and ESC and all that isn't as good as the Spectrum. It does have a 380 size motor, but it is a 32 turn, which doesn't quite give it as much torque as this little guy. Got just a touch more speed. And I think is a little bit under geared personally. Upside, I mean, they do give you beadlock rings or beadlock wheels rather. The shocks, they're okay, but the biggest difference that separates these two, in my honest opinion, is that this has a light bar and this has multiple lights. No, that's not really the big difference. To me, the big difference here is this guy has all Phillips head and tiny, tiny screws that are pain to work with. I haven't seen any screw kits out there for these to convert them to hex heads, and it is just a pain to work on. The Phillips heads are just tiny, and honestly, for what this has standard 3 mil or normal 3 mil size screws. So your average, not all of them are going to be 3 mil. Some of them are probably like 2.5. But roughly you're going to be using your 2 millimeter hex driver or a 1.5, which everybody has, which is going to be pretty standard. And honestly, to me, that makes all the difference in the world. I mean, it is so much easier to work on something like this. Now, if you're buying something for a kid, these would both be perfect and great for a kid. This definitely doesn't have the aftermarket support as this does. While, yes, this did just come out, they do have other aftermarket parts for it already, which make this much more appealing, at least in my eyes, and make it more worth the $250 price range as opposed to what this is. So you really can't compare this crawler to the TRX4M trail truck. Yes, it does say it's 1/18 scale. This says that it's 1/18 scale, and this is actually bigger than this guy, and this is bigger than the Traxxas 18 scale. What do numbers mean anyways? I mean, honestly, just ignore what the scale is and just know that this is smaller than the 10 scale one, and it is just as much fun, and I highly recommend picking one up. And honestly, I'm going to be picking one up for sure. I'll probably give it 4-wheel steer or something. If they had dig for this thing, it would be even more fun, honestly. But those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions on this little thing. It is a ton of fun. I highly recommend checking it out, picking one up yourself. Christmas is right around the corner. As always, be sure to hit the like button and share this video with your friends. Share all our videos with your friends. And drop a comment. Let me know how good or bad I did reviewing this thing, or what your thoughts are on this vehicle. You know, the usual. And don't hesitate to give us a call. Like we've said before, we got 4 locations, and we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call if you have questions about anything RC. Shoot us an email. You know, there's many ways that you can contact us, or just order something from us. Order one of these little things, and I will personally box it up for you. Orders over $50, ship for free. So be sure to get out there, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Blah, 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 blah.